here for the fun. And if you know me, you know I'm the ideal segue from a presentation about coffee. Thank you so much. That was incredible, and I'm a huge fan, and I told Andrea that I have the first Francis Illy Cafe machine, and it's collectible now. But I'm very happy to be here to host today's Shark Tank of Wellness Student Competition, which is a unique global challenge in which university students from all over the world have the opportunity to submit an innovative, impactful idea for the wellness industry, which, as you know, we define very broadly because you've seen our chart. This year we received 153 entries from 39 countries. Yes, I think, God bless the next generation. And you're going to hear from 3 finalists who were chosen by our wellness sharks to appear here today. They submitted a formal written proposal and a 2-minute video, and you'll see their videos. But before I bring the wellness sharks into the tank, and speaking of the next generation, I want to bring my friend and colleague Kate Sorensen up, because there would not have been a competition without her. She gets her own shark. Oh yeah, we'll put these down. Kate's in charge of social media for the whole organization as well as marketing, but she's the one who connected with the students, the professors, created the whole competition, all of the materials and information, and kept it going. Kate was also a competitor in this competition in 2012 in Aspen. She can tell you later whether or not she won. Okay, it's my pleasure now to introduce into the tank the sharks, the wellness sharks, our judges. Karen Campbell, business development consultant at Chivasam International Resort in Thailand. Mindy Grossman, president and CEO of WW, formerly Weight Watchers US. Good morning. Frank Pizzicalis, founder and CEO Resort Suite Canada. Michael Puglis, owner and CEO Circadia Skincare. And Mia Caricos, our own Mia Caricos, SVP Global Head of Wellbeing, Hyatt Hotels. The format for today is very straightforward. We're going to introduce a finalist, play the video they submitted, and then give them 1 minute to address the judges, tell them anything that they didn't submit before, any last-minute thoughts. And then the judges have 7 minutes in which to quiz the students.
Thank you. All right, good morning. Please welcome Maria Mu from Cornell University, United States. Good morning, Maria. We're going to play your video. Good morning, everyone. We're going to play your video first, and then you'll have a minute to say something before the sharks ask you questions.
All right. All right.
Meet Cynthia. Cynthia is a 20-something professional who cares about balancing a busy lifestyle with her health. She uses an arsenal of beauty products, is conscious of her eating habits, and goes to the gym several days a week. Even after spending all day working at her computer, she falls asleep to the glare of her smartphone. She's not concerned about this bad habit, but she should be. Brace yourself for some biology. When you, like Cynthia, spend time after 9 p.m. looking at your phone, the light from the screen suppresses melatonin secretion and delays sleep.
I can run on 5 or 6 hours of sleep. Yeah, you're supposed to get 8, but I just want to watch one more episode on Netflix.
Cynthia doesn't know it yet, but her lack of concern for her sleep will soon have consequences. At work, Cynthia notices her concentration dwindling, her motor control weakening, and her mood swings intensifying. If Cynthia keeps up her poor sleeping habits, in a few years she will have a weaker immune system, show premature signs of aging, and be at a higher risk for obesity, heart disease, and depression.
Okay, I get it. I need to sleep better. But how do I break my habits?
That's why we created Baloo Mo. Baloo Mo is a mobile that helps you fall asleep by guiding you through deep breathing exercises intended to transition you to relaxation. You can pick these patterns on the Baloo Mo app, which is paired to the mobile via Bluetooth. The app can also set alarms and play sleep-inducing sounds. A key feature is that exiting the app will turn off Baloo Mo.
So you can't touch your phone when you're trying to sleep.
Sleep is crucial to maintaining health and wellness, but 48% of Americans have trouble falling asleep, and 35% report their sleep quality to be poor or only fair. Most products on the sleep market target the experience during sleep, Baloo Mo targets the experience of falling asleep, filling a gap currently dominated by pharmaceuticals. Thanks to Baloo Mo, people can spend less time feeling sleepy and more time sleeping easy.
Thank you. Jump right in, though. Yeah, thank you very much.
Great job, Maria. You now have 1 minute to say something to the sharks.
Hi. Good morning. 413 million adults in the world today have trouble falling asleep. Baloo Mo is our solution to helping these adults fall asleep and curing this global phenomenon of sleep deprivation. On those nights when you're just stuck in bed, not able to doze off, all you have to do is look up at the Baloo Mo mobile and match your breathing to its 1 lumen glow and fade. Made of a lightweight fabric shell containing LEDs, it would be inexpensive to manufacture and affordable compared to what you'd spend on sleep medication for years. But why stop in the bedroom? We even envision Baloo Mo hanging in sensory rooms to calm children with autism, or in hotel rooms to ease jet-lagged travelers like many of us here. For those 413 million people who have trouble falling asleep, Baloo Mo is the one device they need. Thank you.
Woo!
Okay, sharks, have at it.
Can I maybe make a start? Just tell us how that Baloo Mo will affix to the ceiling or hang from the ceiling. How does it work in the bedroom?
So we actually have 2 hanging options. I think there is one that would be a sort of a sticky that you can attach to the string that hangs the mobile, and that's sort of I guess, simple way to do it. If you want a more secure hanging mechanism, we also will include a hook, a sort of like drill screw hook type of hanging apparatus.
Not everyone's going to be able to do it from a ceiling. Do you have another
Exactly.
option for people who travel or are just going to want to put it somewhere else in their room?
Absolutely. So we actually are thinking of developing an addition to Baloo Mo that is a kind of an arm that can clip onto a headboard. And it would be very lightweight and easy to just if you have a headboard available, just clip it on, and it would hang the mobile over yourself. So, yes.
Maria, it's such a great idea.
Thank you.
Have you looked at what others are maybe doing in this space? I know there's a lot of home automation. There's lighting companies, Philips, doing a lot of work around color and that sort of thing. How would you protect your idea to make sure? Because in some ways it's quite simple,
Right.
and so that barrier of entry of if you do something great, all of a sudden somebody else will come in, a big player. So how
Right.
would you say you would sort of take this to market and protect the idea?
Well, I mean, of course, first there would be definitely patenting that we would love to get done. We've combed through patents, and there doesn't really seem to be anything for this yet. So that would, be our first step. I guess in terms of other players, we have looked at similar products that sort of do something similar. Actually, there's only a couple that do the similar, like lighting that guides your breathing. However, they actually project the light, and when you project the light, they project the light to the ceiling. You can, look at it, glow and fade, but the source of light is very harsh, and out of your periphery, you can see the light, and it's just, not very nice. So I think ours is definitely set apart from those other players, and so of course we would love to pursue patenting to protect this idea.
So you're obviously very passionate about your product. Can you tell us a little bit about the personal motivation and where this idea came from?
Sure. Well, I mean, in the video, I was Cynthia, and in real life, I also am Cynthia. I definitely relate to everything that we talked about. I think for a long time, I really did not care as much about sleep because, I've been in college all these years, past 4 years, and it doesn't have priority. It does not have enough priority, I think. And when you have a good night's sleep, it is just life-changing. Like, you feel like a new person. And so we really want to, give people that and make that easier to get. So that is definitely, my motivation.
I'm curious if you could tell us a little bit about the name. How did you brand it? Is there a story behind that?
Sure, yes, there is a story. Actually, if you saw in the video, the shape of the light was inspired by jellyfish. And the entire concept was kind of inspired by jellyfish. The kind of, some are phosphorescent, so they can kind of pulse and glow, and we wanted to have that really calming look. So that part of the jellyfish is called the bell. The head of the jellyfish is the bell. And then, lumo is light, some sort of Latin root there. So, so we kind of just did a little combination of bell, lumo, and that's how we came about that.
Maria, you mentioned before that a lot of people don't know that they need more sleep.
Right.
How do you plan in terms of your marketing and your communication to break through that barrier and to have people realize or come to think that this might be something that would benefit them?
Gosh, I mean, I think, we are very set on marketing through social media, and I think, at least for younger people today, lots of people have smartphones, and they're always scrolling through Instagram, through Facebook. I think it would be great to have some sort of disruptive kind of ad that just asks the question, what are you, people scroll through Facebook at 2 a.m. before they're asleep to just kill time, I guess. I don't know, they can't sleep yet, but I think it'd be great to have an ad that just directly asks what are you doing? Can you don't you think it'd be better to fall asleep by Baloo Mo? Something like that. So I think to pose the question, to really just confront them and say, wouldn't this be better to have a good night's sleep?
So you've got just about a minute left, and obviously a lot of the other devices that are measuring different parameters of health and wellness, you can see them, we can measure them. So are there any performance indicators that you can measure to show I am getting the optimal amount of sleep, I am getting good night's sleep, and what exactly is that?
So I would say that there are definitely certain, bodily hormones and processes. We've heard them in past talks here that, you can measure, especially stress would be a big one, stress hormone, cortisol, for example. So that would, I think, if we wanted to do a physiological examination, that's what we would look at. Also, I mean, heart rate is kind of simple. For our product, it would be a lot more about the time it takes also for them to fall asleep and how fast they relax. And so I think heart rate would be
Maria,
big.
could you partner with companies that are already doing that measurement and have wearables that maybe you could use your product with?
I was going to say we're going to get buzzed, and that does not look good for me up here. I got to keep this thing moving. But thank you, Sharks, and thank you, Maria.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well done.
Good job. All right. Our next finalist is Nick Saltarelli from La Roche Global Hospitality Education. Nick?
Sharks,
And
good morning.
here is Nick's video.
Morning, everyone.
Technology has changed the present and the future of the global population. The younger generation now lives in a time where the internet is omnipresent. This has fostered so many opportunities, but with anything in high doses come serious consequences. Worldwide, 48% of the population are online, of which 71% are youth. Left unmonitored, children and young adults can be negatively influenced by cyberbullying, unrealistic emotional and physical standards, as well as inappropriate content. This may lead to and exacerbate mental health issues and even cause online addiction. Students at La Roche Global Hospitality Education have acknowledged these problems and would like to make a positive change in the future of today's youth. We are pleased to introduce to you Camp Well. Camp Well is a holistic health and well-being summer camp for children and teenagers in Bruges, Switzerland. By making this camp engaging and fun, we hope to teach these young people about the importance of keeping a healthy body and mind. Through meditation sessions, physical activity, communication workshops, cooking classes, and much more, kids will not only have a much-needed break from their phones and computers, but will also learn healthy practices that they can apply to their everyday life. While it is easy to have parents agree with the positive effects of this camp, we also want to ensure that the kids are excited about the experience as well. This is why all activities will be created with the aspect of fun in mind. Young people will be able to decide what intrigues them and explore these interests throughout their time at Camp Well. We hope that both parents and children will join us to promote a happier and healthier generation.
And Nick, now you have a minute to say something to the judges.
Fantastic. So let's start from this. You might be wondering what Camp Well is all about, but there is nothing for you to touch or own, yet there is something for you to experience. If we take the two words camp, we can define as a sort of like daily activities that do not belong to your daily routine. But on the other side, well can be identified as the personal wellness, but for the individual and the individual within a team. Now, what we strive to do at Camp Well is basically allowing individuals from different generations to bond together, rediscover wellness values, rediscover emotion, feelings, instigate curiosity, which is one of the most beautiful things, through an holistic program that has been fully developed and designed by us, La Roche students. Now, hospitality is such a powerful tool and probably has given us the most valuable lesson of all time, human interaction. Technology has taken away that human interaction, but it's time to get it back. And it's time to get it back with Camp Well. Thank you very much.
So one of the conversations we have here quite a bit is making wellness accessible for more people. So my question to you is, what is the pricing model around this, and how is it funded?
So basically, Camp Well was funded based on the idea of a summer camp. There was a need that we discovered was so unique. We got families coming to us. They would send kids, to our university, and we're like, oh, but we want to experience, the same thing they're doing. And in the beginning, we were like, this is not kindergarten, it's university. I mean, you gotta let yourself, let it go. But then at the same time, we were like, this needs to bond generation back together. And we launched a program last year, and we were thinking about getting 15, 20 people. We got 60 requests. So it was something that was, quite surprising for us. And we were like, let's do it. I mean, nothing could go wrong on that. It's all set. We have a wonderful location, which is in the Swiss Alps. Everything in Switzerland is expensive. Let's start from this. But this is quite accessible because, and it's also something that we, as hospitality professionals, we managed to see. And this is something we want to focus your attention on. We're all hospitality professionals. We have hospitality background. So it's something that we wanted to make it accessible to everyone because we see things that we don't want to see. Especially like you go to the restaurant, you see kids on the iPad going through. Come on.
I think the question is, what is your definition of accessible?
Accessible, you should not say that in terms of like money-wise. You should say that it's accessible to different cultures, accessible like to different people from different backgrounds. So we're not specifying on that reason behind it. Whether you come from, a Muslim country, whether you come from a Western country, you're all welcome on that side because we want you, to understand that in order to make the future, you need to have the present and the past together. So if we manage to bond those things together, then of course, Camp Well is going to be a success. So accessible for us is not nothing to do with prices and more like in terms of like unity of the people.
I understand that from a business perspective, though, you have to decide your pricing mechanism.
Correct.
And just how scalable this is really
Yes.
going to be beyond 15 people.
No, the ideal candidates would be around 30 people. Cost-wise, I can already tell you, we're talking about 50K, but we're talking about 2 weeks summer camp with all-inclusive, meaning accommodation, food, activities, tour guide. And this is like, so if you're thinking about it, divided by 30 is about 1,700 Swiss francs, which in Switzerland is a deal. You pay for oxygen as well in Switzerland, let me tell you that. Besides chocolate. But
So is this, this Camp Well is one destination, is not a concept that you're looking to potentially roll out as
I want you to
a
get
model?
there, yeah. No, it's actually, we decided to do it first in Switzerland because we had all the facilities. But the great thing is that Les Roches has also branch campuses all over the world. China, Spain, he had one in Chicago, he had one in Jordan. And we don't want only to apply this concept to university. We want it to apply also in the workplace. If you imagine like facilities like, for example, the Google headquarters, they have pretty much the same facility that we do share like at La Roche. So that could be also a great thing. It doesn't have to see only like, the relations that you have between father and son. It can also be seen from the relation that you can have at the workplace with your superior that comes from a different generation. We want to mix innovation and tradition because without these two things, you will not be able to go anywhere.
When we had, Sue Harmsworth and I had a conversation on the way, and she was telling me about when Michael was about 8 and he had come off, she picked him up from camp, and he just looked like he'd grown up, and it was only a couple of weeks. Tell me about what would make Camp Well different from the more traditional summer camps.
Well, first of all, you're going to have like lots of hands-on on what we tend to do in hospitality-based establishments. So you're going to go through culinary courses, you're going to go through service courses, you're going to go through meditation process that you didn't even think about it. So it's something that you would not expect from your general camp, summer camp being like, going with friends and so on. So this is something super important. And we also studied that kids do have like this lovely mental flexibility that if they learn things by doing, it tends to be remembered for a longer time than usual other things.
So very few families can actually take 2 weeks off together to be at camp, unfortunately. Was there some thinking about taking the programming concept of that and packaging it to be able to make it more viable on a shorter term basis?
Correct. Well, when we did the studies, it was mainly starting up from Europe. And in Europe, it's quite common to find people that do have 2 weeks to spend. Let's just start from this. But of course, and your question is absolutely right. We need
2 weeks and 5,000 Swiss francs.
Yeah, you can do that. It's easy. It's accessible. No, but besides, jokes aside, it's an absolutely great question. It's like, we always need to see a thing worldwide. We just not need to focus on one specific destination. So of course, in the very beginning, what we strive to do is make it work in this sense and package it after in a way that, and going back to the accessible point, it can be accessible by anyone without spending an arm and a leg, without wasting, many people, cannot take 2 weeks off, like you said, in other parts of the world. I know in the US especially, it's quite difficult to do that, and it's quite costly as well.
The idea of families doing something together in a very different way and disconnecting is fantastic.
Correct.
It's just a matter of coming up with tiers of the ability to do it in different ways.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But it is something, of course, that, through the time we will experience and process a little more.
I think you're talking about entry points. If you go back to what you were saying about using other facilities to locate the sites, do you also see it being able to stand alone as a dedicated set-up site, or is it always in association with something else?
Yes. The great thing that makes this whole program available at the moment is that we're supported by a La Roche establishment. So it's a very low risk in the very beginning. Yet what we try to do is that if the program, of course, goes well, we want to become an independent establishment for that. And of course, then what we will try to do is to look for different resources, different facilities all around the world, make it accessible to everyone else, combine the two things together. So at the same time, you can also improve the community side, which is also like an important aspect that we try to value.
So this seems like a really good opportunity to communicate the message of wellness to a younger generation, and just kind of flashing back to yesterday on the blue zones and the secondary part of it, almost like a micro blue zone. So have you thought about bringing in some of the other wellness experts that are looking at doing this on a much larger scale and recreating that model? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, without research, it wouldn't be possible. So having more experts on our side, that would be definitely the best,
Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Our last finalist is Ece Temel from Istanbul Technical University in Turkey. And here is Ece's video.
Have you ever thought, how did wellness come into our lives? Well, the roots are very old. Dates back to about 3,000 years ago and based on body, mind, and spirit. 2000 years after the birth of this idea, we are still trying to create a harmony of body, mind, and spirit. Yoga and meditation are the key elements for both physical and emotional well-being. You can do yoga in your home, or in a yoga studio, or in nature. But what about airports? In last 30 days, 37,351 flights cancelled and 565,917 flights delayed globally, and there are thousands of passengers. Which passenger likes to wait in the airport? Airports are one of the places you need to relax most. Therefore, I designed Yoga Lounge, a personal yoga space to relax in the stressing atmosphere of airports. If you missed your flight, or if your flight delayed or cancelled, and you have to wait at the airport, you can enjoy the Yoga Lounge in determined durations. You only need your flight ticket to use this yoga room. After you scan your barcode on your ticket, you can make reservation by choosing specified times. You can leave your belongings in the designated areas. After you go inside, you can play a workout video from the digital screen to guide you. When your time is over, the system gives a warning. While you happily go to your plane, you leave the lounge to other yoga lovers. Yoga Lounge is an innovative idea that combines design and technology in order to increase well-being of people.
You now have 1 minute.
Okay, hi. Everybody can hear me? Okay. Hi, good morning, everyone. Many of us got on a plane to come here. Maybe you went to the airport a little bit early not to miss the plane. Or you were on time, but the flight was delayed. Or you missed the plane by a few minutes. So you had to wait no matter what. Now, imagine that you are using that time by enjoying the yoga lounge alone with yourself. You can easily make reservation, put your belongings inside, change your clothes, and do yoga or meditation with a relaxing music or with a workout video. It has all the yoga essentials in it, and it has an audio warning system that activates it when the time is up so you can't miss your plane. As a conclusion, my idea is a technology-integrated and self-standing yoga lounge for public spaces like airports, but also hospitals, libraries, shopping malls, and workplaces as well. Thank you.
I think it's such a great idea that architects and designers all over the world will want to copy it. How are you able to protect your idea and to keep it something that you can run as a business?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
How will you protect your idea so that it's not just copied by architects and designers who think also that it's a great idea?
Maybe if I will win this competition, I will apply for a patent institute that I can protect my idea, because according to my search, I haven't seen a design like that. Actually, in the 14 airports, approximately 14 airports, there are yoga lounges, but not that kind of a unit. It's a room, a rectangular room, like you have in your building, in your hotel, and maybe I can apply for a patent.
Obviously, you talked about how heavily trafficked airports are.
Yeah.
So you have a single lounge, one utilization only. How are you handling things like hygiene, security, access? I mean,
actually, there will be not one yoga lounge in the airports. There will be many of next to each other.
How are you handling hygiene and security?
Okay. Actually, I couldn't put on my video, but Yoga Lounge has a motion sensor, because you can go inside with 10 people, but it's not possible because it has a diameter 3.5 meters and a height 2.5 meters. So the motion sensor will detect how many people go inside, and if you will go 5 people, it will give warning. And then some.
And how are you going to clean it in between people?
Maybe daily, I think. daily clean. Who?
You may have to think
Good
that.
question. Yeah, okay.
Obviously, if you have these yoga lounges in airports and elsewhere,
Yeah.
you are seemingly relying on an impulse experience.
Yeah.
So you're expecting people to walk by and go in. Do you have any other plans in terms of, like, how would you market your idea so more people know about Yoga Lounge?
Actually, it depends on the business model, I think. If the airline company it sponsors it, maybe it will have the all, how can I say, they will post on the public places and like that.
So a question about repeat business, right?
Okay.
Because you want these customers coming back. How are you going to retain that client or attain that client retention? How are you going to keep them coming back?
My target customers are all yoga lovers and that love travels as all we do. And if you put that yoga lounge in the airport and make them people enjoy the lounge, so they will remember it and they will need to relax, and that's why they will prefer to flights on that airplane, on that airport, I think.
Yeah, I think a lot of the questions are kind of centering around how the business model would work. Like, would there be an app that if you are a loyal customer, you can just charge, and be able to access it and have a certain amount of time and things like that. So just trying to flesh out sort of the access if it isn't something where you require somebody there. And quite honestly, it's a great thing. Our industry is definitely resource constrained in terms of staff constraints. So any space that we could create that could be very easy to access. Obviously there's hygiene issues and things of that nature, but certainly if we can create some of those things where you can have revenue generating space without a lot of staff required is a good thing. But talk to us about the business execution of it.
Okay.
How do you foresee it?
Yeah, I got it. Actually, I'm a product designer. That's why I taught lots of more about the design of the yoga lounge. So you are the businessmen and women here. Maybe you can help me
Good answer.
after
Good
the
answer.
competition. How can we make it and how can we bring it to the real life?
That's the best non-answer
really, I don't
I've
know.
ever heard.
Yeah, that was good. She's navigating this well. So again, being that you are a product developer, tell us a little bit about the development of this product and how you see it being scaled to be able to create the product, to actually be able to create them and put them in these locations.
Yeah, okay. Actually, I designed it for the assembly. This means that, for example, I separated the glass parts and all the blocks that you see outside the yoga lounge can be separated and box it together. So you can put it everywhere with the box and then open it and then build it with the very base, from base to top.
Can you just, in the time we have left, just tell us, since you're the product designer, how much it cost to build the product and, how you would retail it?
It's a good question. But I don't sell wood and glass, so it will cost much more than a simple product, of course, because it has plastic parts, it has glass parts, it has wooden parts in it, and it has all yoga essentials in it, and the lighting system, and the air conditioning system. So you have
So
a
it's
connection
expensive,
to
is what you're
electricity
saying.
inside.
I think that's called a money question.
So it sounds
Yeah.
expensive. Okay, thank you.
Because it's a huge unit. Okay.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job. Good job.
I just want We are out of time, but we have got to thank these incredible sharks. They're going to be deliberating, and we're going to announce the winners tomorrow. Thank you very much.